This is my first video. The video itself is probably going to be poor. The sound, the editing is probably going to be jumpy. I'm not a professional. I'm not doing this for entertainment purposes, just for a bit of information for you guys, because when I tried to find out any information between the differences between Gravity Builders or Generation Toys Gravity Builder and the JinBao oversized version, the only video I saw was is it Mjo? However, he did not have the add-on kit, so this is really just for a bit of information for you. So I will be using my high-tech pointing tool. Yeah, that's right, it's a Chinese wizard's wand. So look, I mean, obviously immediately the difference is the height between the two. That's why they were selling this in the first place, because obviously the original had really just didn't come up to scratch when it came to scaling with the other figures. Totally on board with the JinBao version. It just kind of meets up with the rest of my collection. One other thing I'll point out, because I will sort of show you a couple of the differences between joints and things. The knees on this one, I mean, they were, I think, deliberately designed to be looser, but when I manipulate this, you're going to see how much of a difference it is. So watch out for that. It's probably going to make it easier to pose, but it certainly doesn't make it any more stable. So yeah, let me kind of give you a couple of pointers as they are right now, and then I'll put the add-on kit on so you can see what that's like. Obviously, the head on that one has already been changed over. It's a right hassle. Couldn't be bothered to just sort of muck around with it. One of the things you might be able to see, although it might not be immediately obvious, there is a difference in the color. Now, the original, it's really quite close to the kind of G1 sort of yellowy green. This one's just a little bit more on the green side, which is weird. It kind of helps the purple pop a bit more. I mean, the color on this video isn't too bad actually to reality, and you can only really tell the difference when they're side by side. I mean, I've had these on the same shelf here next to each other. I'd had the original up there and then the individuals and their bot modes up there. You couldn't really tell the difference until they're right next to each other. So I think you can tell this one's definitely got a kind of more of a greeny shade to it. So let me kind of show you a couple of the things here. Now, the original, by the way, I've done all the kind of adjustments to things like the joints and everything else. Later on with some of the individual pieces, you got some sort of upgrade kits and stuff for joints and whatnot. I mean, this arm is still a bit sort of loose. If you listen to the ratchet, it's not brilliant, and also the kind of I don't know what you want to call it, the kind of in and out bend, that's a bit floppy as well. Whereas on this one, you can hear it's got a bit more of a stiff ratchet to it. Now, the downside to this one was that there's two joints in the shoulders there. One of them, what it should do is enable you to kind of pull this out, but it's completely knackered. Now, and there go his knees. So as you can see, he's a real nightmare kind of getting that guy to stand up straight, that's for sure. Alright, so I just wanted to illustrate something to you. As you can see, I've actually put the add-on kit on this guy now, which kind of brings them much more closer together height-wise, but I'll stand him up again in just 2 seconds. But let me just sort of show you what happens with the knees on this one. I mean, just with not a lot of encouragement, the knees completely go. It's the joint that's actually attached to the original piece, because there's actually sort of two joints in there. There's one attached to this bit, which is very stiff, as it is on the original, but it's actually the joint on the actual vehicle itself that is much looser this time. As I said, might not necessarily be a bad thing. On this one, now this one's straight now, so again there's sort of two joints here courtesy of the new add-on part, but with this one I'm just going to show you sort of how stiff this one is. You might be able to hear it. I'll try and get it straight. Yeah, so it's clicked in there now. Alright, so I've added on the add-on kits to that guy. You can see it brings him much closer to the standard JinBao one. In terms of the measurements, in case you're interested, without the add-on kits, that guy comes up about 36 centimeters to his 44. With the extension kit, it's about 39 centimeters to his 44. So I I mean, in terms of if there's any sort of information I can give you guys that's helpful, as I said, the quality control because of that shoulder is a bit iffy. I mean, I think Generation Toy kind of found some mistakes when they made this guy, and then when they issued any of the kind of later editions, they included upgrade parts and stuff like that. So generally speaking, it's in pretty good nick, works quite well. Generally speaking, it's a bit of a pain in the neck overall because whenever you fiddle with it, something comes loose. Like that chest piece is a bit of a nightmare. It always pops off. The crane also always comes a bit undone. And so far with this guy, I see a lot less of that. JinBao definitely kind of picked up on kind of errors or issues with the original and improved them. As for why I've got both of them, it kind of came down to price, and I think the size issue did matter. Each of those was about £65 each, whereas with that it was I think about £65, £70 for two of them. So literally half the price, and I don't know what 15% extra size. Yeah, so I mean, what I'm going to probably do is hang on to this one for now, see if they're going to release the add-on kit for this one, and if so, I'll probably definitely hang on to that one. Be good to hang on to both. It is quite cool seeing him's Devastator in his G1 format on the shelf with the head and everything else, and then this guy and the sort of individual component pieces. So it's quite cool having the best of both worlds. But I think if they do release the add-on kit for him, he'll be getting shipped off to eBay. So I don't know, subscribe to the channel if you want to see any more about that, because I'll probably put a link on for an eBay page. All right, hope you liked the video. I hope it wasn't too much of a chore. Thanks very much. Cheers, bye.